Hello and welcome to All Indians Matter. I'm Ashraf Engineer. In her union budget speech, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said she is simplifying the KYC or Know Your Customer process that is mandatory for most financial services. The process will be simplified by adopting a risk based instead of a one size fits all approach. It will also be fully amenable to digital needs. The KYC process has been full of challenges over the years, though there is no doubt that financial institutions need safeguards like that to protect their customers and themselves. What are these challenges and how can India deal with them?
All Indians matter.
We have on the show Ganesh Ram, MD and CEO of MF Utilities, which is jointly owned by all asset management companies under the aegis of the Association of Mutual Funds in India. Ganesh has more than 20 years of experience in financial services, capital markets, process transformation, and investment banking. He joined MF Utilities from the Bombay Stock Exchange, where he was working as mutual funds business head. Earlier, he worked with K Fintech as head, mutual fund ops, and digital products. Before that, he was with Bank of America Merrill Lynch India and GE Capital managing functions like trading operations, middle office, global securities, and loan services covering Asia, EMEA, and the US. Welcome, Ganesh.
Thank you, Shrif. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you're most welcome, Ganesh. Welcome to the show. And Ganesh, let's start. What exactly does a customer require for the KYC process and how can they ensure it is hassle free?
See, first of all, there's a lot of myth about KYC, and people think it's very complicated. Okay. But KYC process is extremely important, right? First of all, as a customer, as an investor myself, what I ensure, which I request others also to follow, is to maintain the same name across and demographic details. When I say demographic details, their age, address, email ID, contact number across all major depositories, including bank, PAN, Aadhaar, driving license, etc. So it will be very. I always used to say on a lighter note that in India, if you can able to find someone who has the same name and all demographic details across his bank account, PAN number, Aadhaar, driving license, ration card, and all, he should be eighth wonder, okay, in the world. So, like, most thing people should have is to ensure they have a common name and at least demographic details, that is the contact details across all major depositories. That's one. If that is done, I think 98% your KYC is hassle free. Okay, that's where the bigger problem comes in. Second, customer also need to understand and appreciate the importance of KYC. And the other major challenge in India is, when people keep on moving across states, across job, they also need to ensure the KYC data is also updated frequently. For example, a guy who has probably done his KYC in Delhi probably would have migrated to Bangalore or then probably to Chennai or then Mumbai, but he would have never updated. So when we do any data analytics around KYC, how many data need to be updated, all these investments will be coming from different states or different demographics, but this data will sit in Delhi. Okay, so two things to kind of summarize. One is to just keep the demographics and name across same across whatever investment patterns or depositories they have. Second, to ensure the KYC also give importance to the KYC and also keep that updated on a frequent basis. If these two are done, KYC is much more very very smooth process, and with Aadhaar there, thanks to the current government, it becomes much hassle free and seamless.
Right. And Ganesh, why is it critical to achieve national goals such as financial inclusion?
So I think financial inclusion in Western countries are very popular. There was a goal. The government had a goal, the nation had a goal. I think in the last few years in India, I think a lot of discussion on financial inclusion has happened. Again, financial inclusion is nothing but to drive a inclusive growth where you have all sets and all levels of citizens of India do investment and by which they contribute to the economic development. Okay, in a country like a diversified country like India, effective financial inclusion is definitely needed to bring financial product to all set of people. So, for example, if you look at the data in the last 1 year, it is I think April 2022 to Jan 2023, 3.4 million new investors have entered the capital market. When I say stock market or mutual fund or opened a demat, particularly after COVID, there's a lot of traction around new set of investors. Okay, out of this 3.4 million, which is more two set of information which really motivates where we can work towards financial inclusion is around 32% of the new investor are all millennials. So when it's a millennials, this the age between 24 to 32 or 35. So which was never the case in India earlier. Okay. And the second is, after COVID, around 40% of the mutual fund investments came from tier 3 and tier 4, which is remote locations. Okay. So looking at this data and looking at what government is pushing towards the 5 billion economy, which is a goal now. Okay. Financial inclusion, which is going to drive inclusive growth, is going to be most important thing for us, and only financial inclusion implemented properly, understood by people, then the goal of 5 billion economy is definitely possible.
You mean 5 trillion, I think.
So 5 trillion, sorry, 5 trillion,
Yeah,
yes.
sure. And what role does KYC play in that? That really was the question.
Yeah, see, as I told you, there's a lot of new investors coming in. So take mutual fund, for example, the last 1 year. So we got close to 52 lakh new customers who are coming. So the where the money comes from, okay, for a financial institutions or for an investor, it's very important for us to understand from the where the money comes from. Else what will happen is it's a huge risk, where because your money laundering, terrorist financing, unidentified source of funds, legal disputes, all are possible. So that's where KYC plays a huge important role. When one way you are driving towards 5 trillion economy, where we are trying to push a lot of financial products to the tier 3 and tier 4 cities and investors. And that's where if your KYC is done, then there's a lot of easiness and there's a lot of analytics which can be done because you know exactly from what source it is coming in. So to some extent, demonetization also has helped, okay, in a lot of scrubbing all this black money out of the picture.
Right. And what are the main challenges that financial institutions face when it comes to ensuring KYC?
See, one major challenge as a financial institution, we also talk about, we are also a entity which owned by all the AMCs. First of all, investors need to get digitally savvy now. The work historically there is used to be paperwork where you can fill up the form and give to agencies where it takes longer time. Now people there are video KYCs, there is Aadhaar based KYC. As a financial institution, I would really expect or appreciate if our customers can become a digital savvy where they can be able to do the digital based KYC, which is very sitting at their home. It's much more easier. Second, as I told earlier, investors also need to keep their KYC data updated. Okay, so recently I saw some analysis where people said based on KYC data, how many new investors have come, how many existing investors invested. The data is slightly skewed because the investors don't update their demographic details. So, for example, if I say Bombay is the highest by mutual fund investments, might not be true because those guys who are done KYC in Mumbai would have migrated to some other states. So the money probably is coming from different states. But due to the KYC data and not updated KYC data, so we are getting a wrong information, which also gets, when we do some analysis, when there is a dispute coming in. So all this unupdated KYC data will have an issue. So as a financial institution, I will feel and I would request investors to become a digital savvy to do KYC. And second, also keep their data updated. Okay, that is from financial institution perspective. From a industry point of view, common KYC across banking, mutual fund, stock market. That's I think the need of the hour today. Probably the government is talking about one KYC, but as of today, as a financial institution, I need to do a different KYC for customers to whom I offer a banking product, or I offer them a gold product, or I offer them a ETF, I offer them a stock market or mutual fund. So that's another big challenge today. Same customer, the underlying PAN, Aadhaar, everything is same, but there are different set of process I need to follow, and probably I need to do two, three different set of KYCs for a single customer. So these two are a bigger challenges today any financial institution face.
No, I'm glad you raised that point, Ganesh. It's a very important one. And also, over time, we found that KYC regulations are extremely complex and even vary from state to state sometimes. So, this makes it difficult for companies to remain compliant. The regulations can also often be
Yes,
confusing,
and
as we've seen often reported.
yeah,
So, could you explain that a little bit? What do companies mean when they say that?
No, see, I don't know state to state there is a difference. So probably, like any other Western countries with the kind of diversification India has, that will be a finer separate requirement from state to state. But majority with my knowledge from a financial markets point of view, state to state, there is no major difference in KYC. But yeah, it's not complex basically, but there is an opportunity to standardize and to have a level playing field in KYC across states. But I don't think it can be done 100%. There will be always some differentiation which will be there between state to state. But one huge change which can happen, which can kind of iron out some of these nuances across or standardize is technology. Okay, today technology has really helped. There is much more scope to do, but as of today, from a KYC standpoint of viewpoint, irrespective of different process, different uh, products, different states, different institutions, technology has really helped us to achieve the KYC seamlessly. For example, Aadhaar. Today, Aadhaar using Aadhaar, we can really do a KYC seamlessly, provided your contact numbers are properly maintained and Aadhaar. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, summarize is yes, there is a differentiation between state to state, but I don't think that is a huge difference or it's very complex. We can probably iron out, but I don't think it's going to be 100%. And then technology can able to even streamline those process and iron out those differences. Is my view.
Right. And tell me, Ganesh, is the compliance cost too high for financial institutions when it comes to KYC?
I have a different view. So I don't think the compliance cost is way too high. And again, it depends on the perspective of the financial institutions. But there is scope to reduce that, definitely. But rather than, I think financial institution need to look at the cost to compensate of non being compliant. Okay, more than crying on the compliance cost, there is opportunity definitely, but I think the focus should be more on what is the compensation opportunity cost I'm going to incur if I'm going to be non-compliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. And Ganesh, just coming back to the challenges. Now, according to World Bank estimates, 32 million adults in India don't have access to any officially recognized proof of identity. What can they do in order to be KYC compliant?
I don't know. No, I slightly differ from that view. I really appreciate World Bank statistics, but today, if you look at Aadhaar is there at most with every adult Indian, right? So Aadhaar is now considered as a POI, which is a proof of identity, and POA, which is proof of address. Okay. So those adults, even if there's going to be 32 million, as you told, those people, at least 90% of the people should definitely have the Aadhaar, is my view. And that too, if you look at today, the mutual fund industry, there is something called PKERN, okay, PAN exempted, PEKRN, right? So PAN number is mandatory for mutual fund. There was another option of some states, which is probably the Northeast state, having a PAN exempted number, which is PEKRN. That is also going away from 1st April 2023. Every mutual fund investors need to have a PAN number, okay? And all those people who have the PAN number definitely have a Aadhaar. And today, banks also tell us that 98% of their bank accounts are all tied up with Aadhaar. So the PAN, Aadhaar, and bank account is already tied up. And even if there are adults, Indian adults who not KYC compliant, having Aadhaar pushed so strategically by Indian government, I think those 32 million also can also complete their KYC, which is through Aadhaar, which can be served as a POI and POE.
Right. So, what you're saying is that so long as you have an Aadhaar, your KYC should not be a problem. You should be able to complete it anyway, if I
Absolutely yes.
understand that right.
Absolutely yes. Absolutely
Right,
yes.
right,
That's correct. That's correct.
right. Now, Ganesh, in order to reduce costs, regulators introduce various technological methods, and you've mentioned some of them. You've mentioned the eKYC, video KYC for onboarding customers. There's also the central KYC registry, which is a centralized repository of customer KYC information. Has all of this been implemented well, and has it helped financial institutions?
Candidly speaking, it's not completely implemented well. So in Indian financial market, there is a eKYC, which is you can do a eKYC using Aadhaar or a video based. Okay, that has really helped capital markets and mutual fund industry significantly, no doubt, because now KYC can be done digitally and seamlessly. Having said that, There is something called CKYC, okay, where there is a 14-digit number, which I also have. Implementation, when CKYC came into Indian market, we all thought that's going to replace everything and there will be a centralized 14-digit CKYC number. But somewhere I believe due to various reasons that was not executed to the extent where it was envisaged. Okay, there is still a huge potential, and today we also wonder what's going to happen to CKYC, and particularly when Honorable FM spoke about a single KYC using PAN number, which is very good. It's a great news for everyone. But the question is, whether they are going to probably use the CKYC or there's going to be a new KYC number which is going to come. So it's a kind of it's a kind of a win-win and loss-loss situation where we have technology helping us to do a eKYC using Aadhaar or video. On the other hand, you have a central KYC which is half good, not implemented fully. And there is some new KYC or the KYC is going to get streamlined. So as of today, if you ask me, we are probably in a slightly a confused state now. One way we are getting this KYC done digitally. On the other hand, CKYC is half cooked, and there is new KYC which is going to get streamlined. So probably down 3 years, we'll come to know how it is going to shape up further. But as of
Hmm.
now, correct, irrespective of even regulators pushing technology, one way it has helped. But on the other hand, there is opportunity to streamline and standardize to have a central KYC which is going to benefit everyone.
Right. And what easing of norms would you recommend when it comes to submissions like proof of address documents and others?
One KYC across all financial products should be is my first wish. Okay. So Ganesh, as a customer, if I want to invest in mutual fund or if I want to invest in, I open a bank account, I want to invest in FD or I want to buy a loan, I want to invest in stock market. One KYC across will be the wish, and that what I think in the budget speech, Honorable FM also spoke. That will be a great relief. Okay, that will be the first recommendation I would make. Second is how to kind of ensure that once this centralized KYC is going to come, the demographic change. I keep talking about demographic change because that's very, very important. So, allowing investors only to change their demographics at one central location. So, now you can have a contact number at the bank account level different compared to other or compared to PAN. So, can we probably have single source of demographic information updated? So, all the systems get updated. That will be, I know it's a kind of dream wish I'm making, but that will be really something which really helpful for a country like India. And using technology, there was something called OCR and ICR, optical character recognition and all. So which was there in the market for quite long, but I think India need to kind of look at that as more advanced. So that makes the KYC process much more easier, where the system can read those characters and make life easier for the investor. So these are the three things I would say which can really ease out the norm and make life easier for investors. Because once you make someone easier to enter with compliance, then investing is pretty easy. If you look at the way financial market today is doing a transaction, making a payment, getting a statement, everything is digital now. Okay. So once somebody has come in, it's much more easier to make them do a transaction digitally or service digitally. But the bigger challenge is to make him do the KYC and come in. So that can really get streamlined better. Then it will be a seamless end-to-end process.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, which actually leads me to my next question. Is there anything that institutions can do to ensure a better customer experience when it comes to KYC? Because horror stories of trying to get KYC done abound.
No, see, there is, I think, two, three things. One is, adopting digital is only way for financial institutions, and also making sure there is a seamless onboarding experience for them. So there is a help because see, doing a KYC, video KYC is also not it's not tough, but it's not as easy. Okay, so there should be proper hand holding in case of issues, which the financial institution need to ensure by better of customer experience. And then continuous KYC also. I think now also capital market regulator is also talking about a re KYC. So once 5 years, 7 years the KYC is done, then there will be a re KYC. Okay, so which is called continuous KYC. So giving them a better technology giving them a seamless onboarding experience, hand-holding in case of issues, and also continuous KYC. These four, I would say, are very important when institutions talk about better customers experience during KYC process.
Right. So, Ganesh, tell us about MF Utilities. What exactly does it do, and what has been its journey so far?
Yeah, see, MF Utilities, as you kind of when you told when you introduction. So we are non-profit oriented company developed by the mutual fund industries together. So we have around 42 AMCs, asset management companies. So all these asset management companies pulled in money and formed this company called MF Utilities. Our goal is to kind of reduce the cost to the industry, standardize the process, and also help investors to do mutual fund transaction with ease. Be it's going to be a financial transaction, be it's going to be a non-financial transaction, or even getting a statement or getting things done much more easier. So we are here to reduce the cost and make life easier for the brokers and investors. And from a performance point of view, we are the number one platform in industry we are number one from the market share when it comes through transactional value. So for to just give you a perspective, our asset under service per month is at most 4.75 lakh crores. Okay, so that's the level of money we kind of bring in to the AMCs, and we service around 20 percentage of the total AUM. The AUM of mutual fund industry is what, around 40 lakh crores. So out of that, from 20 percentage is managed by us. So by transaction value, we are the number one market share. And interestingly, in the last 1 year, it's been a excellent growth both for mutual fund industry and for us. And next 2 to 3 years, we have a bigger roadmap to ensure that no, we at least 5x the current investor population we have. Investor means who have come into mutual fund industry, and there's a lot of other technology features which we are going to bring in, which will make life easier for investors and distributors. So that's where we are. So we are owned and managed by all the asset management companies to make mutual fund investment easier and efficient for investors.
So, Ganesh, here's a question I ask all my guests at the end of the show. It's a slightly personal one. Why do you do this work?
Uh, I do this work. Okay, because I think it's a very interesting question. So because I'm really passionate, okay, about investment. I'm as an investor. I just completed 25 years of my capital market investment. Be it my bank, fixed deposit, or mutual fund or shares. So I just celebrating 25 years of being invested. I'm really passionate about Indian capital markets. That really keeps me feeling every day. And that's a bigger scope for India to become a number one capital market economy. So that really motivates me to do this work. So I really passionate about what we do.
Ganesh, thanks so much for coming on the show and helping us understand KYC better.
Thanks so much, Ashraf. Really appreciate it. And I want to request which I definitely have for people is whoever is hearing this, if you're not invested in mutual fund, I can't tell which mutual fund, but there's a lot of information which we have. You can just go to MF Utilities and start investing. Do invest in mutual fund, okay, and stay investor and create wealth for you and for the country. Thank you.
Thank you all for listening. Please visit allindiansmatter.in, that's ALLINDIANSMATTER.in for more columns and audio podcasts. You can follow me on Twitter at Ashraf Engineer, that's ASHRAFENGINEER, and All Indians Count, that's ALLINDIANSCOUNT. Search for the All Indians Matter page on Facebook. On Instagram, the handle is All Indians Matter. Email me at editor@allindiansmatter.in. Catch you again soon.
Set summer in motion with the most adventurous Honda vehicles yet, like the Passport and Pilot Trail Sport, and the Ridgeline, built for better off-road performance and engineered for more adventure. Summer's here. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2023 Honda Pilot, a 2.9% APR on a 2023 Passport, and a 0.9% APR on a 2023 Ridgeline.
Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details.